The Committee on Health, Economic Development, Homeland Security, and Senior Citizens now convenes this public hearing. Public hearing notices were provided, first notice on Wednesday, December 2nd, 2015. Second notice on Friday, December 4th. For the record, today's Thursday, December 10th, and the time now is 1:30 p.m. The committee will hear and accept testimonies, both oral and written, on Bill 190-33, an act to amend Section 9C of Public Law 3254 relative to requiring that the National Clinical Mental Health Counselor exam be the sole requisite exam for licensure for licensed mental health counselor, and to amend Sections 1289 and 16 of Public Law 3254 for the purposes of establishing a licensed intern designation during the 3,000-hour postgraduate clinical experience period required for mental health professional licensure. The second bill is Bill 211, an act to amend Sections 122317 and 122318 of Article 23, Chapter 12, Part 2, Title 10, Guam Code Annotated, relative to extending the timeline for obtaining exemptions and exceptions for the social worker licensure upon the promulgation and enactment of the rules and regulations. And so now we'll go ahead and start with Bill 190. We have Mr. Wayne Butler, who has signed up to testify. Sir, if you can please join us up here.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator, and thank you for you and your staff working together with us on this bill. Reading through it, we found some minor difficulties, just really minor things. We are in support of the bill. I do have written testimony. Let me go ahead and read that. Please bear with me. Page 1, line 8, LCE should actually be LPC. Page 2, lines 5 and 6. Individual marriage and family therapist, IMFT, is no longer a license available on Guam. And it is, in fact, part of the intent of this is to repeal that law. So no intern designation for IMFT is needed, and it should be removed. Also there, certified professional counselor is also not a current license available on Guam and is not contemplated as a license. So no intern license is needed there, should be removed. Licensed clinical social worker is a different board, is the social work board and not the allied board. And all the rest of these licenses are all under the allied board. So it should be removed as an intern for us as well. Page 3, same difficulties really, lines 12 and 13. Page 3, line 15 and 16, the words "or other mental health professional" as licensed mental health professional are problematic. Again, there's no current or proposed license for licensed mental health professional and no current or proposed license for other mental health professional. They should both be removed from that sentence. Page 3, line 16, the word legible should actually read eligible. Page 4, lines 5 through 14, Section 5. Section 5 refers to a portion of the existing law that consists of definitions, is not actually an appropriate placement for that section and should be removed in its entirety. Page 4, line 17, mental health intern license should be mental health counselor intern license. Those are all the corrections that we noted on that. There are 2 additional additions that we'd like to request. Public Law number 32-54, Section 22 contains 2 typographical errors. Section 22 creates 2 new positions on the Allied Board, which would in context be for the licensed mental health counselor and a marriage and family therapist. Instead, already created positions for respiratory therapist and for nutritionist clinical dietitian are named. The request is to replace the words respiratory therapist with licensed mental health counselor and nutritionist clinical dietitian with marriage and family therapist. Sections 14 and 21, the grandfather positions for LMHC and MFT in that law. have no sunset provision, and it's been requested actually by one of the allied board members that a sunset be added. It is therefore requested that the words licensees deemed eligible under this provision have 18 months from the time this article is enacted into law to apply as a licensed mental health counselor, and under Section 21, licensees deemed eligible under this provision have 18 months from the time this article is enacted into law to apply as marriage and family therapist. Thank you very much. I, again, appreciate your and your staff's work with us on this.
Great.
On this matter.
Thank you very much, Wayne. I wonder if we were working off the same
I think we may not have been.
Okay, so yes, we've been working actively with the group, and so we'll take all of these into consideration and ensure that it's included in the final version that's reported out of the committee.
Excellent.
Right?
Thank you
Great.
so much.
Thank you very much, Wayne. So we're now on Bill 211-33. I have Christine Baez, Josephine Nakamura. Okay, you're just here to support, right? You're not here to provide testimony. We had a written testimony from Hope Cortez. She's here. Hope, please. Mr. Burns. Mr. Al Saverio. Yes. If I didn't call your name, you've signed up, but you just indicated your support and don't wish to testify. Is that correct? Okay. I'd like to also recognize the Vice Chair of the committee, Senator Tony Addett. Thank you, Senator, for being here. We'll go ahead maybe with Ms. Hope.
Hafidane, good afternoon, Honorable Dennis Rodriguez, Chairman of the Committee of Health and Human Services, and Vice Chair Senator Tony Addett. Hafidane, I am Hope Marie Pangilinan Cortez, Vice Chairman of the Guam Board of Social Work. I am in favor of Bill 211-33 for the following reasons. The extension will help over 200 social workers remain in their current employment and will allow for service continuity for individuals and family members who rely on these service providers. And the Guam Board of Social Work is a 5-member board, and four board members are appointed at this time. One position is currently vacant, and the term of one board member will commence by the end of this month, December 2015. The extension will allow more time for board members to review applications with appointed members available. More time at the review stage will foster a thorough review of each application while reinforcing the purpose of the Social Work Practice Act, which is consumer protection. Within these past 2 years, the board and community members engaged in several work groups to establish rules and regulations, the development of an economic study, and a fee schedule. The Guam Board of Social Work has accomplished much to include receiving membership services from the Association of Social Work Boards, the national organization which oversees all social work boards across the nation and administers the National Social Work Licensing exam to include Canada and SAIPEN. 3 of our board members have received National Social Work Board Member Training from the Association of Social Work Boards. The board has engaged in national conversations on licensure mobility to ensure that Guam is represented. The Guam Board of Social Work has established a formal application for each of the 5 different certification licensure tiers and will be the first board in Guam to accept applications online. In conclusion, while much has been accomplished, there is still more to be done locally and nationally. The Guam Board of Social Work will continue to work hard towards implementing social work licensure in Guam with the resources that are available and the support received from stakeholders. I am open to any questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you very much, Hope. Maybe I can ask Al as the other board member, and then after that we can open up if there's any questions from us here.
Thank you. Hafidane, good afternoon. My name is Al Silverio, and Senator Rodriguez, thank you for your support. Senator Ada as well for your support and letting us provide our testimony this afternoon. I am the Secretary of the Guam Board of Social Work, and I'm here in support of Bill 211. Regarding specifically the proposed fee schedule based on our economic impact study that we submitted earlier. Now, the proposed $300 social work license fee will be valid for 2 years. And that's very highly competitive with Texas, Oregon, and Hawaii, because these states have similar ratios of social workers to their respective populations, and the projected growth is also similar to that of Guam. So we are aligning our figure based on the needs of the social work community's licensure and also future needs that the board will use. The proposed fee schedule will support the operations of the Guam Board of Social Work for at least 5 years. And so the projected rates of new applicants and renewals will reflect that. This fee schedule will give stability and ensure a very, very smooth transition as new board members continue the licensure process. We also believe this is sound fiscal planning based on ensuring sustainability of the licensure process. The Association of Social Work Boards is a nationally recognized organization that serves all 50 states, plus Guam and Saipan. It will receive the payments directly from the Guam applicants, and along with all required documentation, such as transcripts, references, and clearances. ASWB will store these materials online and will be accessible only by the Guam Board of Social Work to determine licensure eligibility. The ASWB will then remit the Guam Board of Social Work $200 of the $300 that they receive from each applicant. The money will be deposited in a specific Public Health and Social Services account managed by the HPLO, or the Health Professional Licensing Office, and the Guam Board of Social Work. This administrative process saves the government of Guam expenses by eliminating the need to establish a social work license office and the necessary operational costs such as staffing, fringe benefits, and other administrative expenses. There will be a third-party annual auditor included in this services provided by ASWB, and they will be auditing our budget annually by an external auditor and maintain a finance committee to review fiscal activity that works with the auditing firm. The Guam Board of Social Work EIS passed the scrutiny of our legal counsel, and the Guam Board of Social Work is confident that the proposed fee schedule represents responsible fiscal planning and endorses its implementation. Thank you.
Great. Al, thank you very much for your testimony as well. And with hope. And I appreciate the statements you've made. The bill that we have before us is to extend the timeline first, right? First and foremost, so that the board can go through the process of promulgating and establishing those fees that you talked about, establishing the mechanism on how we collect it. So we just want to make it clear that we're not here yet to entertain that. I know that Senator Espadon wrote me a small note and said fee schedule, and so I know because based on your testimony, so that's not what we're here for today. But I appreciate that information that you're providing, and I realize that the board has worked very hard in developing this, right? And so what's very important here today is that we extend this timeline. This would be the second time that we had moved this timeline, just really to give the board the opportunity to work through the details and ensure that this timeline is extended so that no one loses the opportunity to be able to receive licensure once the fees and all the procedures are set in place. Okay, so just real quick, Senator Espadon, that clear for you?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, no, that was clear. I came in, I read the bill that was before us, and then when I walk in, I know I was a couple minutes late, and when we were talking fee schedules, like, did I miss something? But yeah, no, I appreciate the clarification. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burns.
Okay, thank you, Hafide. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, Senator Espaldon, I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of Bill number 211, which will extend the timeline for obtaining exceptions and exemptions for social worker licensure upon the promulgation and enactment of the rules and regulations. My name is Craig Burns. I'm here as the president of the Guam chapter of the National Association of Social Workers. We represent more than 100 of the social workers and social work students here on Guam, and as well as the professional association, the National Association of Social Workers, which represents over 130,000 social workers nationwide. I want to express my appreciation and gratitude to both the Office of Senator Rodriguez for working with the Guam Board of Social Work to respond to this moment of concern in a quick, expeditious manner for those awaiting word on exception and exemption in the licensing law. So while the December 10th, 2015 deadline for exemption and exception is in fact today, as you mentioned, we're here to extend that timeline to give the board the opportunity to continue and to complete the process. So I and the social work community on Guam recognize the dedication and hard work of the volunteer members of the board. And during the town hall meeting they held on November 24th, over 30 other social workers and myself were there, and we were given insight into the progress that's been made in the past 18 months and how close they are to getting us getting the social workers on Guam licensed. So the most important thing I think for this law is that we do it right, as opposed to doing it right now. And so again, thank you for introducing this bill to extend the timeline. So I just want to again express the support of the Guam chapter of the National Association of Social Workers for the passage of this bill. And as a final thought, I'd also like to express the chapter's strong support for the passage of the fee schedule and the rules and regulations so we can get the social workers licensed and continue with the work that we do supporting and helping Guam's neediest and most vulnerable populations. And I'll submit thorough written testimony by close of business tomorrow.
Senator Abbott? No. Okay, thank you very much. Are there anyone else that wish to make any oral testimony? I know we have a bunch of you signed up, and I understand you're here to support, so we'll ensure that's included on the record. If not, we'll go ahead and adjourn this hearing. But just to wanted to publicly state that we're going to continue to work with the Social Work Board. I know that there is already some information that the board has put together to implement a fee schedule, and I've offered, and I'll state that here publicly, that if it's submitted officially with the resolution from the board, then we can pursue that here through the legislature in terms of a bill and having a public hearing and then enacting it into law, so that we can kind of cut the timeline down in moving that forward. All right? Great. Okay, so if there's nothing else, we'll keep the record open for a few days. Anyone who wishes to submit testimony, written testimony, they can do so. They can drop it off here at the legislature or email Senator D. Rodriguez at gmail.com or fax or deliver it to my office as well. Okay? Great. Thank you very much. It's 1:47. We're adjourned. Merry Christmas to everybody.